Dear students, welcome to this module object-oriented programming using Java. This is a model where I have been using Java as a programming language. As we saw previously, we saw that Java is an object-oriented programming language, which means that everything is based on objects, and which is different from procedural programming like C programming and others. And now we are going to see how you can set up Java so that you can use the software to compile, run the application and get the outputs. So as we saw previously, we are going to need the Java development kit. The Java development kit we are going to use is called the JDK, kit. And there are so many versions, as you can see here. You see that we are having a JDK 6, JDK 8, JDK 11, and these are the collection of software we will be needing later, but now we need this one, JDK. And here, as I told you, we are having a many version of JDKs, and here we have a 6, 8, 11, and you can use any one, but it is better to use a JDK 8 because I think that many of students are even having some old laptops, and this one will fit to any laptop. So first you have to install JDK before using Java, and it will help you compile, run the application easy. And firstly, you have to double click on the setup. Double click there. After double clicking, you have to wait, and the process will depend on the speed of your computer. And when you get this window, this prompt, you have to click yes, because it is asking you if you allow this application to make a change to this device, and as this software is safe, no problem, I can click on yes. After that I will be waiting, and it will take some time. It will depend on the speed of your computer. Even if your computer is slow, or you are having a lot of software in your computer, or maybe you may have also viruses, so it will be slowing down the installation, but we have to be patient. After that, you see this window. This window is asking us, prompting us to do what? Display the message stating that you are about to install Java Standard Edition Development Kit version 8, update 191. Okay, no problem. I can click next. After clicking next, you see that here I have to choose the source of where I have to install my JDK. By default, JDK may be installed in C drive, the program file folder, and in the Java subfolder, and that we will create also another folder called JDK 180, and that's called 191. You see, this is a wrong path, and as always, when you are running the applications and even compiling, you will have to access this path always. So this path is very wrong for us, because you will often need to use this path. So if you use that often, it will be a problem always to go in such a wrong path. So a good way to do that, we can, for example, put our JDK folder inside the C directory, inside the C drive immediately, so that we may access it easily. For example, here I have to click on change. After clicking on change, I may delete what is there. I delete, then I have to click to write JDK like that. So I will access my Java folder from C drive in a folder which is called JDK. So always, as this path is short, this is very good because I will be needing for a long time accessing this folder, and it is easy. Also, if you make a folder like this which is short, and it will help you you will not have problems in the future when you are saving files. For example, there may be some access permission which will not be provided if you keep the default folder. That's why if you write your folder like this, even you can even when you are having a partition D, yeah, you can put such partition. But here let's keep C, no problem. See the C partition JDK like that. Then after that you click OK. After clicking OK, you see that here we are having we access our JDK folder from C, then in the JDK subfolder. Then you have to click on next. After clicking on next, I have to wait the installation, and as I told you, the installation will depend, the speed of the installation will depend on many factors, especially your computer. Even if it is slow, or if it is having viruses, it will slow down. But you will have to wait unless you are having another issue, but you have to finish. Then when we are installing, you have to check the version it is installing. You see on the top of the window, you see that we are installing the right version, which means the 8th version. Yeah, this is good. It can work on new computers, even old computers, no problem. That's why even when you can even choose the version 11, but the working process will be the same, so there won't be any change. Now after when this Windows comes, you have to click on OK. After clicking on OK, you have to install what? Java running environment. Java running environment, as I told you in the class, it is an environment which will help you, it will provide a space for your program. It will be like a memory which will provide the space in which your program will be running. It is like a memory, temporary memory, and if you don't install this one, it will be a very big problem when you are running your applications, because they won't find a place or an area or a memory where it has to run. So here I just click next. I don't have to change that. I just click next. After clicking next, you have to continue waiting for the installation to finish. So I have to wait, and when the installation finishes, we are going to see that you see that installing the Java is very easy, and anybody can do that. The main thing is that you have to be waiting, and if your computer is very fast, it may take only maybe even 1 minute or 2 minutes, everything will be finished. You see that for me it took me maybe 3 minutes. Yeah, when you are here, it means that everything is okay. Then I click on close. After clicking on close, what's next? You are going to check if it has been successfully installed. You have to click as I told you that we installed JDK on C drive. I have to click on C drive, and then I have to go here on the JDK folder, this one, JDK folder. You see JDK folder is here. After that, they may be inside the many folders. but we don't have to talk about each of them. What we need now, you see, even the GRE environment, the running environment is there. So we don't have to talk about that because these are system folders. For us, we will be interested in bean, this one. The bean folder, it is the folder where we have to store our Java applications by default. And even when we will be running our application, we will have to find the application or the program created in Java in this folder, unless we change the storage folder or the execution folder. And we are going to see that in chapter 3, I think. And by default, we keep everything inside the bin. So to be able to compile, even run application, by default it has to be stored in the bin folder, unless we change the path. So we are going to see that in chapter 3. Okay, now it means that we will be saving our Java file inside this folder. Okay, that's very good. So I can close this one. What are we going to do next? Next, we are going to create a Java application, and then we are going to compile it and run it and get the output. So now I am going to create the first Java application. You have to follow the process. You do what I do, everything will be fine. So here, for us as your students, there are so many IDE. IDE means integrated development environment. So we can have, for example, NetBeans, Adobe Dreamweaver, Notepad++, or even so many. But for us as your students, we are going to start with Notepad. Why do we have to use a Notepad? We use a Notepad because it will help you understand very well the structure of the programs, because many IDE will be providing automatic error corrections, and these are like AI. So for you as a student, as a programming starters, you should be using an IDE like Notepad. Why? Because it will help you when you are having errors. You are going to write your program, and when you compile your programs, you are going to find some errors, and you are going to correct errors one by one. So it will be somehow you are going to correct your programs and remove errors and mistakes manually. That's very good for a student. But if you just start with NetBeans, for example, it means that even it is going to highlight errors for you automatically, and this will not be good for you students. That's why you start by Notepad. We will be using some advanced IDE later. So how can you find Notepads? Just you come here, you click here on start, or if you can't find that, you can even click here, type this search button. You see Notepad is coming immediately because I did use that previously. What if you don't find that? You have to click here in search and type Notepad. When Notepad is launched, when Notepad is launched, so we are going to you can start typing Java program. As you saw in the class, as I told you, each Java program has to be enclosed inside a class. Why? Because this is the syntax which has been provided by Java Creator Sun Microsystem. So here we have to put our Java file inside the class. Let's create a class. A class has to be public. As I told you, that public means that the class can be accessed anywhere in your program. So I have to put the keyword public, then I have to put space, then I have to put keyword class space, I have to put the class name. Last time we created a class which is called simple. As you can see, you see that a class has to be starting with the uppercase. This is a must. You don't start with an uppercase. When we are going to compile your program, you will get errors. So you see that S is the uppercase. This is a must. I can even write this one simple in upper the simple or letters in capital, no problem. But let's use the one we use in the class. Simple. And I have to open. I have an open brace. I have also to put a closing brace. This is a rule. You open a brace, you should be. It is better that you close it. Why? Because if you don't close it, inside there may be other braces, and you may be confused. You open the one, you close it. This will help you to not forget closing it later. Maybe you may have 10 braces. You don't know which one is opening and which one is closing which one. Yeah. The second, as you see, we're having public class simple. So it means that I created a class which is called simple, and which is public. It means that it will be accessible inside this opening and closing brace. What if you put the opposite is private? If you don't put public, for example, I can delete this one. I delete this one. This class becomes private. So if it is private, it means that it will be recognized inside this opening and the closing brace. Outside, what about outside here? For example, if I type somewhere other commands here, whatever which will be outside this class won't be able to access this class simple. Why? Because it is private, it is recognized inside, but it is not recognized outside. And it may be also recognized in a scope, in a zone where it is located, but outside that zone it is not recognized. So it's better to put a class public if you feel that it may be accessed outside its scope, or it means that the area in which it is located. Okay, here we will be seeing that later, and the second, the other line has to be about the main method. Why do we have to use the main method? As I told you previously in a class, the main method is there as the coordinator for the program. Whatever the program is going to do, you have to have the main method which will be calling the methods. What is a method? That means a function. The main function is like the head of the university, like a vice chancellor who is coordinating everything inside the university. So it means that the main method will be calling the methods in your program. You don't have a main method, it means that you will not be able to get the output, because the output has to be provided in the main method. So I have to put the main method. The main method, as it is the main, it has to be also public, and also, as I told you, it has to be static. Static means that it is something it doesn't change. Static means that it is the main method and it is static, and it doesn't change. It is as it is. And there is another keyword, public static void. Void means that it doesn't return any value. Void means that it doesn't return any value. It means that it returns 0 by default. So to return a value means that a function has to return a value. It means that maybe it has calculated some, for example, the multiplication of two numbers and return the results, which is the multiplication, resulting the returning the result to the main function. But as the main function is the main, it doesn't return a value to any other function. That's why I am putting void. Then I have to put the name of the main function main. Then I have to declare the arguments. As I told you, the arguments, we are going to see this in deep in chapter. Don't remember which chapter, but it is the title is command line arguments. As I told you that we have to pass by default the arguments to any function. Those arguments has to be in the format of arrays, a string array. That's why I have to put string. A string is a class. As it is a class, S has to be in uppercase. String. Then I have to put the args. Args, it is the name of the array, and the args, it has to return args, the string args, which is empty by default. So now we are not passing any parameter to the main function. That's why the array by default is empty. By default is empty, but we may pass some values to it later. That's why we are declaring it as a string, and it is empty by default because now we don't need the main function to return any arguments. It is there, but it has no value, so the array will be empty by default. So we may be having an array which is like this. Let's write this. It will be like this. The array will be called args, and it may have it has also any size. It may have, for example, the index 0, like this. Index 0. Okay, it is args, and args 1, like that, and so on. So you see here, to use that index 0 is having nothing. There is nothing. It is empty. It is having it has nothing. It is even not 0. It is empty. It has nothing. And the index 1 is having nothing. Okay. So we don't have to talk about that very much. We are going to talk about that in chapter 3. And here the function has also to have an opening brace. As I put an opening brace, I have to close it also. Then the program, I am going to write a program which is going to display here. The output should be, for example, hello, or I can put, for example, welcome. To Java. The output should be like this. Okay, so I have, if I want to do what? To display the output. Firstly, I display the output by using a Java function to display the output on the screen. I have to use a command called print array, like this. To know if something is a function or a method, you have to check if it is having parentheses, the closing and the opening and the closing parentheses, like this. And in Java, each line ends with full semicolon. That's why I'm putting semicolon there. And inside the function, I have to put the message I have to display on the screen, which is this one. And you have to type as it is. You don't have to change that. You don't have to change that as it is. Welcome. W is bigger. It is an uppercase. Welcome to Java, like that. Okay. Now I have the output. So I write this function like this. If I write this function like this, the Java won't recognize that. It is going to tell you what it is, print and what it is. Why? Because this function has to come inside a built-in class. A built-in class means that it is a class which will be provided when you install JDK. You install JDK, the class also will be provided immediately, automatically, and that those classes are built in. It means that you can't even change the name, you can't even change how to write it. It is read only, and it is provided by what? By Java. And this class, what is the meaning of a class? A class is like here in Java, you may think that a class will be a collection of function, will be having a lot of function inside the class. So for us, we are having a class which is called system. This class, as it is a class that is start with the uppercase, and it's called system. This class we call the system comes with Java when you install JDK, and this class has to start with uppercase always, because it is a class. You have to understand this always, that a class has to start with uppercase. So this is a class system. This is also a built-in class, a keyword, a class string also, and also simple also is a class, but this is user defined. User defined why? Because it has been created by us. When you go in Java, instead of Java, what if I name class because it's simple? Even here, I can even change a put a simple one, no problem. User defined means that it has been defined by me as the programmer. The built-in has been programmed by the programmer of Java. It means that the owner, the developer of Java. So you can change that. If you write S system S in lowercase, this is a very big mistake, as it is a class. So you have to put it in uppercase. And you see, this function called the print error is inside the class which called the system. So we are not allowed to access the content of a class directly. It means that the function println is the content of a class system, and you are not allowed to access the content of this class directly. I have to have between a class and the function an object. An object is like what? It is like for example, if we want to access something, if we need, for example, a student, you have to pass through a lecturer. I am teaching in a class. You need a student. You are coming from outside. You are maybe someone from outside the university. You need a student. You can't come in a class immediately and take the student outside the class like that. Yeah, you have to pass through me, lecturer. So in Java, as we're talking about object-oriented programming language, Java is object-oriented programming language. It means that everything are based on objects. So for us, we will be having an object, and an object, it is what? It is a variable which is allowed to access the content of the class system. So here we are having, as we are printing out or we are displaying on the screen, we are having an object which is called out. This object, it is like a worker of the class system, which will help us access the content of the class system. And this object is out because we are displaying on the screen. This object is the one who is having the permission to access the print error function, which is inside the class system. So if, for example, someone can promote and type like that, there is no object. It is like someone coming from outside UTB, coming in this class and picking a student without a permission. So he has to pass through me, the lecturer. So the lecturer, I can say that object out is like me, a lecturer. So it means that you are accessing the content of system class by using the object. That's why I have to put system dot object, which is out dot the function println. So println means that print means display. So println means write, print write. Why do we put error? or why do we put a print line? So that it is going to display line by line. What if we have to display many items on the screen? So the system will display line by line, first line, the second line, third line, like that. So that's why we put print line. You see, that's all. If we are having you have to adjust your program very well. If there are some spaces, you can remove those spaces like that. That's all. So this is the output. I have to remove this one. So the program to display the welcome to Java on the screen has to be written like this. Okay, I can repeat once again. I have declared a variable, a class which is simple, which is opened here and closed here, and as I told you that everything has to be written inside the class in Java. You don't use a class, it will be a problem. These are the rules, and the class has to be public, and I have to provide a class keyword and the class name. I can put in name, no problem here. This is user defined class, and after opening I have to declare the main function, which has to be void. It means that it returns no value. Static means that it doesn't change something which is static. It means something which doesn't change or doesn't change often. And public means that it has to be accessed anywhere because it is a main function. I have to pass the arguments to it. By default it is an empty array, and we enter value later. We are going to see that in the upcoming chapters. And I have to open the brace and close it, and I have to put the output inside the braces. And this is a string. As this is a string, I have to put them on what? I have to put this one in quotes. The string has to go inside the quotes. After quotes, I have to close inside parentheses. And here the function to display on the screen is print len. Print means display on the screen. Len it means line, and this function is inside the class which calls system, which is built-in, but I can't access the content of the class system. The directory, I have to use the what? I have to use the object out. This object is the one which is allowed to access the print len. That's all. That's why I have to put system dot out dot print len. That's all. Okay. Now you're having a fully working program in Java. This is a welcome to Java, a simple program, the first program in Java. How can I save the file? To save the file, I have to check this one. The name of the class has to match the name of the file in Java. So what I have to do? I have to first, if you think that you will forget, you can even copy this one. I copy the name of the class has to match the name of the Java file I have to save. So I have to, after that, after copying, I have to click on I want to save this file to see that it is untitled. Untitled means that it is not saved. I have to click on file, save as, and where do I have to save my file? You see, I have to save my file, as I told you, in local directory. You can, even if you don't see that one, you can click on this PC. After that, I have to find the C directory, this one, which is this one. Then I have to click on JDK. Then I have to find the bin folder. After selecting the bin folder, I have to paste the name of the class. You see, as I told you that the name of the class has to match, has to be the same as the name of Java file. After pasting that, I have to put the Java file has to have an extension which is .java. I have to put .java. I have to put dot. Then I have to put the extension Java, simple.java. That's to have the extension simple.java. So you see that the name of the class matches the name of the name of the Java file. Then I have to click on or files. So if you don't put or files, the Java file will be saved as a text documents. That's why I have to put or files. After clicking or files, I have to put okay. You see, you have to check always that if it is having an extension .java. So that's why I have to put Java like that, simple.java, and you have to check very well both of them, simple.java and save as type or files. This is a must. Or files. Don't if you put a text, it will be a text document, it won't be a Java file. You have to make sure that it is all files. Then you click on save, and you have also again to check if it is in JDK bin. Then you click on save. Okay. Then you can minimize this one. After minimizing, I have to check. I have to go here in this PC to check if the file is there. Localhost, then JDK, then bin. Then in bin I see my file. I have created my file and I called it simple.java. I have to scroll down and see for simple.java. I can find that. You see it is there. Okay, as it is there, I have to check the extension, the type is Java file. Okay, that's very good. Now we are going to compile. What is the meaning of compiling? Compiling means that it is creating an executable file. It means that we are going to check if our file is having, our Java file is having some errors. If there are errors, we have to correct them. If there are no errors, it is going to create a file. It is going to create a file which will be like this, a class file. It means that it's going to create a file which is having the extension .class like this. So in that time I will be having two files. The one file, this one, you see, I will be having two files. The first one will be simple.java. This is the source file. The source file. The source file means that the one having the source code is one. Simple.java is the source file. This one will be the one which is called executable file. So it means that when we compile, we are going to compile source file, and then after compiling, if there is no error, we are going to get the executable file, simple.class Java. So this will help us getting the output. Yes. Okay. How to compile? To compile, we have to write what? We have to write the command javac. Javac means Java compile. Javac. Then have to type space, and then we put the name of the file, simple.java, like that. Let's do that. But it requires to go inside that folder. So we have to be where? We have to be inside. We have to be inside the JDK. We have to write this command cd cdc JDK bin, like that, because our file is simple.java is inside JDK. That's why we have to type like that. Okay, let's do that. To compile, I have to open. To compile, I have to open what? Command prompt. I have to click here and search in search. We have to click here in search. In search, as I told you, we are going to launch the command prompt. Command prompt, you go here in taskbar, you click there and type here to search. You can type cmd or even command prompt, then you press, you click on it, double click on it, that's all. And then here to clean the screen, I can type this command clear screen like that. Okay, so I want to compile. Compiling, I have to use the command prompt, and to be able to compile, I have to be inside this folder, this one. I have to be inside the C JDK bin. I have to use this command cd. Cd means change directory, and so I am going inside the bin folder. I have to go, if I put cd space C JDK bin, I want to go inside the bin folder, because my Java file is inside simple.java is inside the bin folder. That's why I have to go inside the bin folder. Otherwise, I can't compile being the outside of bin folder. So I type what? I put this one, cd C JDK then bin, like that. So I will be going in the bin folder. Then I press enter. You press enter on your keyboard, enter button. After entering the button, you see now I am inside bin folder. Okay, as I am in the bin folder, I can even check if my Java file is there. I put a dir means directory, means displaying the content of the bin folder, and I can put, for example, simple.java. Yeah, I press enter. As you can see, you see that there is one file which is called simple.java. One file is there. Okay, it means that simple.java is there. You see, simple.java is there. That's very good. So I have to compile. Compiling, I have to use this command, javac space simple.java. You have to write as it is. Even the S is bigger, the upper case. You put the lower case, it is very true. I press enter. So after pressing enter, you see there is no output, there is nothing displayed. It means that there is I have no error. There is no error. Okay, let's suppose that I am having a small error in my program. Let's open this program. I check if there is an error. Let's delete this one. Okay, let's suppose that we are having an error. Yes, me remove semicolon. Then after removing the semicolon, I save the change file, save. Then I compile again, javac simple.java. I press enter. You see, it is saying that on line 5, on line 5 there is an error which says semicolon expected. Expected means that semicolon is missing. It is missing. In which line? Line 5. How can I find that error? I go to notepad. I'm going to count. You see, I'm counting from here. Here I am on line 5. Line 5, it is where the cursor is. The cursor is here. You see, I'm on line 5, column 40. If I am here, it means that line 1. I come here, line 2. I come here, it is line 3, like that. Line 5 is here. and it is saying what? It is saying that semicolon expected means that semicolon is not there. It should be there, but it's not there. So that's why I have to put semicolon. So you see, the compiler will guide you. If there is an error, it is going to mention the error and the line where the error is occurring. Then after that, whatever I do, I have to click on file, save. I save the change. After saving the change, I have again to type the same command. Javac simple.java. You see, the error is gone. Okay, how am I going to get the output? To get the output, I have to use this command, java simple. You see, getting the output to run the program, I have to use Java. The previous one, compiling, I have to put a C, which means a compile. And for compiling, I compile the source file, which is Java. Now, to get the output, I have to use Java. This is a command to display the results. And I have to put the name of the class without .java, because this Java is source code file, but this is a class file. Class file means that it is the one which is executable, which has been compiled. Okay, let's see if I have to find a file which is called simple.class. I have to search a file which is called simple.class. Simple.class. This is the file which is going to get. This is an executable file. It means that it is the one which is going to produce the output. Okay, let's find it. Let's see if it is there. When do you get this file? You get this file after typing javac simple.java. You compile your source file, and then you are going to get the executable file, which is simple.class after the compilation. So let's see. You are going to find it in C. You are going to find it here. C, then JDK, then B. In the B, you are going to find the simple.class. You have to scroll down. Simple.class. It is here. Even I can even try to open that. You can't open that. This is an executable file. You see, let's try opening it using a notepad. You can't see the code. You see that the coordinates are hidden. It is a file which has been translated into bin file into an executable file. The output will be located here. Then I don't have to even to open that. That's all. Then after that, I press to execute and get the output. I have to put Java simple. I press enter. You see the output is this one. Welcome to Java. Okay, that's very good. I have shown you how you can install JDK and how you can create a Java file, how to save that, how to compile that, and how to execute that to get the output. So each of you has to follow this video and then try to execute a Java file. This is how we are going to do from the beginning till the end of this module. We are going to execute files like that. In the last unity, this is where we are going to use NetBeans, but the first unity we are going to use. We are going to create files like this, compile them, and execute them to get the outputs. So you have to practice this example. When you get the output, congratulations, and then you are going to do the same way for other upcoming programs. Okay, thank you and good luck.